Morning, morning. How's everybody doing? Um, got in, well, got into the live today a bit later than normal, only because yesterday I was working out like crazy, and we were still doing some stuff around the house. So slept later than usual, but still made it to the gym today. Just got to, came back and said, let me get on it right now with you guys. So yeah, so I'm here. Got some news, and news is basically what I bought last night in the public portfolio. But what I'm also looking at, like the title says, which is about two other tender stocks. One I'm already in the public portfolio, but one I might be adding in the public portfolio because a client reached out yesterday to me. She started watching my lives and she said, "Listen, this is great information. I need to find brands that I'm going to task you with, which are you know $10 less than $100 as well, or $50 less, where she can connect with, right? So like if she buys, for example, cosmetics from Sephora, I advise her to buy Elf Beauty, right? Because it's below $100 right now. But what I'm going to do is, looking at the markets on the left on my screen, Bitcoin is up 72,000 today. So let me recap and let you guys know what I put in the public portfolio. First, let me show you guys where the public portfolio is currently. So we are at 6505.41 today. But this is what I added yesterday, and I think I put a post on YouTube uh, saying that this is what I'm buying. These are my buys. So yesterday I put 120 into the public portfolio, and I bought $10 of VOO, $10 of SoFi, $10 of Microsoft, $10 of ServiceNow, $40 of Salesforce, which is falling today as well, $40 in Adobe, $20 in Nike, $10. I think that's it. Yeah, correct. Oh, not the $20 in Nike. It was just Adobe. So 40 in Adobe, Salesforce 40, 10 ServiceNow, 10 Microsoft, 10 SoFi, 10 VOO, and yeah, that's about it, right? So just let's look at the public portfolio again. So this is where XRP is currently at. Okay, H bar. What's the other one? SoFi -10. American Express up $2 and some change. Coinbase up with some change. Hood, which is Robinhood. VOO, SCHD, Microsoft, APH, Google, Nvidia, Meta, Adobe, CRM massively down today, massively. I might buy a little more today on these two stocks just to get my average of cost down. SPMO now, which I'm looking at to add again. Golf, Amazon, and Nike, right? Now, before I get into the other stock that I'm going to tell you guys that I'm looking at as well, these sales stocks, Adobe, Salesforce now are taking a beating, like, and there has to be a bigger reason than that, where people are moving money or not just trusting. I don't know where the money is going to, or if it's a current situation that taking these stocks down. But I don't believe, like I said in my earlier videos, that these stocks are going anywhere soon. I honestly feel like these stocks, I trust them. So I'm on, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not certified or anything, but I'm just sharing what I'm doing. I'm definitely going to pick up more shares of these two companies. I was buying Meta in the public portfolio with one of my clients, showing them that like this is I'm getting into it when it's red, and I my last buy in Meta anyway, whether my last buy or not, but like is today overall Meta's now given me $26, right? Meta's $26 up, right? I remember I picked up Meta in the private portfolio when it was $88. and people are like, no, it's going, company is not doing anything, Facebook, blah blah blah. And I try to like push the noise out, and the private portfolio is like on Meta. Overall, it's great, but on Meta, it's crazy great, right? And the reason that if you're just joining for the first time, that I started the public portfolio because a year ago, a couple of my clients reached out when I was helping my company was helping them with other stuff with their business, and they're like, what else are you doing, Jeremy, to grow your money and blah blah blah. And I'm like, listen, this is what I'm doing, and I've been doing it for a decade and some change. And they're like, listen, like, not to, can we just ask you, like, how do we do it? And then I'm like, listen, let's do it right now after the meeting. So basically, whipped up the phone. And for me, I use Robinhood because only it's easier for me to teach someone or advise or consult someone on Robinhood. And I honestly feel Robinhood as well is a great app, right? That's why I also invest in the stock in the public portfolio hood. So I didn't really put any mad money when I was showing these people. Like I just put like $5 just to show them how you can go about doing it, right? And more people off late have been reaching out to me. When I say off late, like probably year end last year, like people are like, can you help us? And I'm like, you know what? Instead of like just having chats on WhatsApp or Zoom calls with these people individually, I'm like, let me just share it with YouTube, right? And I do like making content, which I create quite frequently on YouTube and other social media. You can follow me. My Instagram is below. You can see what I'm up to. But I also like finance, and that's my primary job. Like I advise and consult people about brands, about developing your ideas into my company's website as well as on YouTube links. So we help people, not just individuals, SMBs, whether you're whoever you are and whatever you want to do, and you want to, it's basically in branding and consulting. We look at you, we understand your DNA, and we're like, okay, so and so a person, this is what we would advise you. These are the different variety and options, and this is what we can gauge. So that's another story for another day. I'll probably shoot a video in the coming months where I talk more about myself and my journey from moving from Dubai to the US and where I'm currently now. Not more. I don't live in New York anymore. I'm now in Florida. But that's for another day, right? I'm just looking at Bitcoin on the side, what's happening. So going back to the private portfolio, that's why I'm started this thing and I'm sharing, right, about this journey. So the the one that I'm looking at right now to add in the current portfolio, like I said, like Adobe and CRM are taking a beating, massive beating, massive beating. But hey, I'm just accumulating as much as I can in the public portfolio. And whenever I buy stuff in the public portfolio, the clients, friends, family, whoever said these are stocks that we are getting into, I'm getting into with them at the same time because I'm showing them. Because the reason that I'm doing this is not just me accumulating, and I'm not accumulating in the private portfolio, but the Adobe clients, for example, like whenever I buy something in it, like yesterday, I'm sending them a message like, hey guys, I'm buying this. What are you doing? So they'll probably put whatever they want to, like they probably put $2,000 in Adobe or 1,000, right? You got to see how much your pocket is. Right now, my goal is the private portfolio because that's the baby that I've cultivated over the decade, over 10 plus years. But the public portfolio is great to show people that hey, you can start, you can do this on your own journey. Believe in brands that you want to invest in, become a shareholder, not just a consumer. Just don't go out and buy Apple MacBooks and phones every year. Also become put some money in Apple stock as well, right? So that's why the public portfolio, I'm showing you guys what's red, what's really happening. I don't know if other YouTubers are doing the same thing, or if not, I'm not bothered about that. I'm just bothered about me, but I have to voice it as well. I'm just want to be really clear and transparent and show you guys what I'm doing, right? So the other one that I found, which I want to tell you, which that client said, look, I want to invest in companies that I buy, and like whether it's Apple or stuff. So I gave her a list, right? This was one of the companies. And let me just check if this is right. at $18 now. Bro, that's so ticker symbol BBWI. Now, these are all the beauty products that I'm finding. Ultra Beauty. I'm not investing in Ultra Beauty, but I invest in ELF, Elf Beauty, and yeah, just Elf Beauty that I invest in. But I'm looking at Bath and Body Works because it's also in the same segment, and I know a lot of people in the world shop at these retail stores or also online. And let me see if Morningstar has given us an update. Look at the Morningstar's rate. It's $56. Their rating. So I'm going to do some more due diligence, more research about this company. But this is on my radar for now. I'm definitely like the company is founded in 1963. That's crazy, right? So I'm definitely looking at this. Like I said, let me just show you again the fair value for this stock is $56. It's currently 18 and some change. So I definitely want to keep it on my radar and see before the day ends where the stock sits at, right? And the other stock that is below one of my videos the other day was like the top 10 stocks that I would like advise people. What I'm doing is to buy, right? In my opinion, is one of these service now, right? So if you want to choose from Adobe, Salesforce, or Now, these are the choices that you got to make. Look at the stats. Like Morningstar's given this $165 per share. So yeah, this is what the call was about today. I wanted to chat with you guys and say like this is what I'm doing today. So I'm going to look at on the public, bring my cost down with Adobe and CRM. Yeah, because it's almost hitting $100. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till midday a little and see where these stocks are gonna stable or if they're gonna drop. Because look at that needle, bro. That's crazy, really crazy. And let me just show you, right? Same with Adobe, like, poof, 226. Let's look at if the rating. Look at what Morningstar is showing, bro. 380 for one stock of Adobe, and Adobe's 226. So I'm telling you, there are people out there just buying the stock. And I don't have Adobe CRM, if you guys want to know, in the private portfolio, right? I don't have these. So it's like this thing with this client of mine, they're like, they love Adobe so much because they've been using it for themselves and their business for like, I don't know, like since Adobe was a thing, right? I remember using Adobe for the first time probably in 2008 or seven or something at a company when I worked in the corporate industry, right? Where we needed to pop up PDFs and edit and sign contracts, and Adobe was there. I know Adobe today, like some of my UGCs, the content creators, they use Adobe for editing videos. I usually use. I started just using Now Edits on Instagram, but before I used to use Final Cut Pro and CapCut Pro, right? But Adobe also does all this other stuff, so it's great company. So that person, that client, actually got me into investing or being an investor of Adobe and CRM, and so it's great, right? Like how we're sharing as well. They might pay me for using my company services, but also when I give them some free food for thought, they're giving back as well, right? It's not just like eat at my table and level up, but it's also like, okay, we're going to eat at your table and bring some food and share it with you. So everyone's leveling up, right? Which is great. That's where you want to surround your mindset, your circle with your friends, your clients, whoever, like just growth, growth, growth. That's why my channel's about lifestyle as well, but also growth in this segment. So definitely look at these. And if you watch my earlier videos, my goal is to bring I always end the video. I always talk about this in the video that this Robinhood public portfolio wanna hit 10K ASAP. When I say ASAP, it's not tomorrow. It's not the after. It's not in a month. By slowly and surely accumulating the right stocks that I believe in, the companies that I believe in, and I know they're not going anywhere. Right? These companies like Amazon's, Nike, although they're taking a beating right like now, Adobe as well. I could be completely wrong about Adobe and this thing, but like I said, I don't have them in a private portfolio, so the my loss isn't going to be as much, right? Uh, and that's what I advise people, my clients, like myself, like have money that that you want to put in, you're safe to put it in, and have that because you could lose it. So have that thought in your mind as well, right? So that's why it's always good to have a diverse portfolio. You don't have to be in 200 stocks. You could just be like in a handful of stocks, but the right stocks, right segments, right. Diversity is key in current today's market. That's why I always suggest, like, make sure you guys are in ETFs, right? VOO, VUG, triple Q, whatever you choose, SPMO. All right, in a private portfolio, like my SPMO and my VOO are the biggest monthly buys, like, forever. You know, um, Bitcoin is right now 72,924, and the reason that I'm keeping my eye on crypto as well, because I am invested in crypto, not as big as my investments in the stock market, but there is money sat there, and I'm looking to take some profit from there and move it more into the stocks. That's what I'm personally doing, right, at this point in time, because I've seen some great uh, targets on the stock that I'm looking at, where these entry points are going to make sense. Why I'm not using liquid cash? Because I have this uh, back in my mind. I have this thing where if something goes wrong, crypto's going to fall really hard, and then I'm not going to put more cash into crypto unless I see it really falling, like, and then putting some more into it, right? And I'm just going to buy like Bitcoin, Ethereum to finish the crypto conversation. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP, probably, like, because I think they're the top four, but mainly accumulate more Bitcoin and Ethereum. But my stock portfolio is a winner, especially the private portfolio, right? And the reason I'm not sharing that, because this channel is about learning how to invest as a newbie, as a person coming in. If you don't like the word newbie, as a person who wants to grow their finance, and this is the way that I would suggest doing it, in my opinion, because I've been doing it for years, and I'm also sharing the journey that what I'm doing in the public portfolio, right? On that note, guys, have a great weekend. Peace. Own it, make it happen. One love.